Hi friends, this is Sharad Durgawad, Red Hat certified engineer with 13 years of hands-on experience in IT industry, varied across development, DevOps and cloud. So currently I am working as a senior cloud DevOps engineer. So today I'm going to demonstrate you how to create a Jenkins Docker file, Jenkins Docker image basically, which will have Docker, Git, Maven and default JDK integrated into it or installed into it. So once we build this Docker image, Jenkins Docker image, we will spin the Jenkins container, and in that container we will configure a simple job which will build a Docker image and push that image to the Docker Hub. So let's start. So this is the Docker file I have created, and in this Docker file if you see the base image I have used is Jenkins, its latest version, and using root I am installing few necessary things like certificates, curl, GNU PG2, that is the encryption tool. And then since I need to install Docker inside it, I need few Docker related libraries. So I am adding this repository, Docker repository, and pulling the Docker libraries using this curl. And finally I'm installing Docker CE, Git, Maven, default JDK, which are necessary things for building the jobs. And this is very important because I am adding the Jenkins user inside the Docker group, so that Jenkins user will Jenkins user can run the Docker commands. And this new group Docker is used because if Jenkins have some terminals or consoles open before adding into the Docker, then after adding Jenkins into Docker, it will not have reflection on those opened consoles. So there is no need of logout and login. That's why this new group Docker is used. And finally I am switching back to the Jenkins user from root user. So let's create the Docker image using this Docker file, Jenkins Docker file. So I will go to the command line, and I will create the Docker image from that. So I have the command ready. Just so let's see Docker build -t Jenkins instance :2.0, let's say -f. Here I am specifying the Docker file. It is not the standard Docker file name, that's why I have to specify using -f, and the build context. So just hit enter. So it will take some time, so till that time we'll pause the video and we'll come back again. So as you can see, our image has been created successfully. Docker images. So here if you can see, our image has been created. That 2.0 version is created. We will run our Jenkins container. Before that we will make sure that nothing is listening on 8080 port. Okay, so just I will run the command. So here I'm running docker run -dit. This is the port mapping 8080 to 8080, means container port to host port. I am providing the name of this container, that is Jenkins server, let's say 2.0 -v, mounting the Jenkins home directory. This is important parameter, that is we are mounting the volume var run docker.sock to var run docker.sock of the localhost, because this is the Unix socket and through which the Docker client will talk to the Docker engine. So this is important. And finally I am specifying the image name, that is 2.0. Just hit enter. Perfect. So our container is running now. So to get the initial password from the Jenkins, we have to just go to the initial password file of the Jenkins. So docker exec -it, this is Jenkins server fun 2.0 is the container name I'm specifying, then cat, and this is the file path. Just hit enter. So this is the initial password of the Jenkins. So we will use this initial password. Just I will copy this and I will go to our Jenkins uh, uh, web browser. User will be admin and just paste the password here. Perfect. So here few things needs to be configured to create a job which will create a Docker, which will build a Docker image and push it to the Docker Hub registry. For that, first thing is we need to pull the code from GitHub. So we have to configure the GitHub credentials here, and second, we have to push the created Docker image to the Docker registry, that is the Docker Hub. So we need to again configure the credentials for the Docker Hub. So go to the manage Jenkins. I will just show it here to you. I have already created those. So manage credentials, see here. So for GitHub I have created the GitHub credentials. I have to configure the GitHub credentials, like I have to specify my GitHub username and password. For Docker Hub I have to specify the Docker Hub credentials here. So let's go to Jenkins and create a job, new atom, and let's say it's a test pipeline. Test pipeline, it is a pipeline job. Click OK. And here there are two options while creating the pipeline. One is the direct script, you can copy paste here, Groovy script, or you have to specify the SCM path, pipeline script from SCM. So here you have to specify few parameters like GitHub URL. So I will copy the GitHub URL from here. This is my GitHub URL. Later on you can visit this GitHub URL for my source code. And here you have to select the GitHub credentials. So I will select the GitHub credentials. It is the Jenkins file script path. Just save it, and we will run. So before running I will show you my source code. So in this one Docker file is there. The Docker file is a sample Docker file where I am just running creating a jar file which will have a hello world, and just running that jar file in my Docker file. And the Jenkins file has few stages. The first stage will be the maven clean install stage here, so which will create a jar. Second stage is the Docker build stage. Using that jar I will just build the hello world image here. And third stage is the Docker push, which will push the image into the Docker Hub registry. So just need to make few changes. Let's we will change the version, so that and change the version here, so that it will be reflected once our job is completed in Docker registry. Okay, so I changed the version from 1.0 to 2.0. Okay, no other change is required. Okay, so let's save it. Okay, this is the Jenkins file that we have specified in the pipeline, and we will trigger the job now. So we'll see the console output. So getting the code from GitHub, running the clean install, build successful, Docker build is running, Docker build successful, logging to Docker hub to push login successful, and it's pushing the image to Docker hub. Since I have already pushed its previous version, so few layers are already exist. That's why this push will be faster than the previous push. The image is pushed. So let's wait till this job is finished. We can check whether this hello-world colon 2.0 tagged image is there. See, the job is successful. So we'll just cross verify whether our Docker hub has got that particular image or not. Just refresh it and see. So the image is pushed to hello-world image with tag 2.0 is pushed to the Docker hub a few seconds ago. So that's it for this. Thank you. Thanks a lot.